Hi, everyone, and welcome to the third in a series of member interviews in line with our Lead to Legacy membership drive. The idea behind this drive is we know that larger chapters keep more revenue in their local business communities. So we're encouraging you to reach a hand out to all of your contacts, all of your clients, your suppliers, your family, and your friends, and invite them into your Givers Gain community, your chapter, so that we can support them. They've met us. We'll show them that there is a better way of doing business out there. And what I'm doing is I'm getting together with some great members from across the region. And you've probably seen the two that I've already done. There's normally been a funky little video at the beginning that they use for their corporate stuff. But our guest today, and I don't introduce the guests, I let them do that with my very first question. But I'm going to have to say that our guest today, we think is the youngest member that we have in our region currently. And I'm talking about proper age, not some of the ages that we kind of pretend we are, you know, when we lie, when we start counting back from 40. This is like proper age. Runs a really successful business and is definitely the youngest top table member that we have in the region right now. So I'm going to go straight on into my first question, and I'm going to ask our very special guest from today, what's your name? What's your company name? What chapter do you belong to? And how long have you been a member at that chapter? Go for it.
Thanks, Greg. So my name is Taylor Drayson. My company is The Creative Tinker. I am part of the Lightning chapter, and I have been a member since January. So January 2020 is when I joined.
Wow! So you joined. So you joined when the world was face to face.
Yes.
And very quickly it became not face to face. So the Creative Tinker, tell me a bit about that. So what does a Creative Tinker do?
I mean, so the name that I came up with was based upon my nickname. So I was called Tinker Taylor. And so I kind of came up with that kind of company name from that, because it was kind of my nickname that no one actually knew the meaning behind it, but I did and my close family did. And it's basically just things to do with being creative. So I specialize in website design and website development. So, you know, that encompasses everything from the initial design and planning stages all the way up to kind of development, production, and then also kind of the ongoing maintenance. And I also throw in graphic design in there. However, that's more to do with kind of assisting for the website. So making graphics for the website rather than graphics alone.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I must admit, your school nickname, Tinker Taylor, was a lot better than my school nickname, which I'm sure I'll share on a later one. But okay, so my next question. So you joined right at the beginning of the year. So I want to know, how has BNI supported you through this this COVID era that we've all experienced?
So it supported me through kind of, they created resources, they put together a whole new structure in terms of they had to create BNI online,
Yep.
which was something brand new that they had to pretty much come up with as soon as possible. And they did a great job in doing that. So it meant that we didn't kind of miss out on our one-to-ones and our weekly meetings.
Yep.
They had lots of resources that we could find on our BNI portal. And as well, just, the area directors and support DCs and stuff like that were always there to, ask questions, say, how are you doing, checking up on us, making sure that everyone was doing okay. And, if you weren't, because, maybe a financial struggle, they were there to say, look, speak up, we'd love to help you. Don't be ashamed that you're struggling. They put together, food boxes and things like that, which really helped.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's, we really are trying to build a community here, and it's great that as not only a new member, but your chapter's brand new as well, isn't it? I mean, your chapter began at the beginning of the year and then very quickly, and I know new chapters do feel like, oh my God, what's going on? So not only did you have the okay, we're on our own now, we've got to do it, but you also had what the rest of us were going through, which was, as you mentioned, that massive transition onto BNI Online.
It was a
And I
lot of
must say,
uncertainty
you
too.
guys, I know you've just stepped up to the leadership team yourself, and you've taken over from Richard, Debbie, and Sarah. They did a fantastic job, didn't they?
Yeah.
I mean, getting you through that those first 10 months of being a chapter. I mean, you know, do a huge round of applause to those guys, and thank you
definitely.
to you guys for stepping up. So your current team is so it's yourself, it's
Richard
Emma and Richard.
Yeah.
So another Richard. I think you've got the regional quota.
Three, I think.
Three Richards in your chapter. Yeah. And so, yeah, brilliant. And thank you for stepping up. And it's exciting.
It is.
How are you finding the whole leadership team so far?
Yeah, it's good. It's interesting because obviously I'm younger, and I guess I bring a more youthful approach to the top table. You know, I have my other two top table members that kind of come to me if they have any technical issues and computers and stuff, because I'm the most versed, I guess, in it, which is nice because it means I play to my strengths. But then for stuff that I'm not very good at and stuff, that they help me with that and things like that.
Brilliant.
So
yeah, that whole support network that you get from BNI is absolutely amazing. And, you know, I really do describe our leadership teams as superheroes, and all superheroes need a guy in the chair, don't they? And that's what you are. Obviously, you're the tech guy back in the back cave, telling them how to do stuff. So well done for that. Right, let's go to the next one. So what's the I mean, you kind of touched on food boxes and financial support and all that kind of stuff, but what's the most heartwarming thing you've seen in the last kind of 6 months within BNI? What's the one thing that you've gone, wow, that's nice?
I think mostly the kind of, like I touched on before, the food boxes, but as well as kind of our Facebook group that we have. And whenever people put out a plea for either help or something, it's never a, can you get me this person? Can you get me this person? I saw someone that was struggling, and their business was struggling this month with kind of not making much, getting much work. And people were commenting, going, you know, I will look out for you and see if I can find some work for you. And she replied back with straight saying, okay, how can I help you then? Because they were going out to look for work. So she was saying, okay, what do you want from me? Because you're helping me in return. So she, you know, she wasn't kind of selfless. She was very much trying to help the other people, even though she wasn't in the best situation.
It is amazing. So, and it's the one thing that continues to astound me about BNI, and that, you know, BNI is an acronym, it's an organization, but it's the members that are the real heart. And wherever people are in their life, whether they are, you know, massively successful or just starting out, or they're going through a rough patch, they always seem to find the additional capacity to help others. So, you know, what a brilliant example you've just given there of people who, you know, they're asking for help. And anyone watching this, if you need help, put it out there. And we've got some beautiful stories across the region. The book I've just published mentions Suzanne Elsie's story and Andy Ruck's story, where they stood up at chapters and were totally open and honest and said, look, I need help. And the way that the membership kind of rallied around them. So, you know, my big advice is once you've got that emotional and relational capital, is use it. You know, if you need help, use it. But it just astounds me that people always find that additional space to help others. It is amazing. And I know you guys are really active on social media, and your WhatsApp groups are always funny. And I kind of sit on everyone's WhatsApp groups. I comment really rarely, but I do look at all the funny stuff you put up, and there's some really good stuff on yours. So as well as interviewing you and hopefully adding benefit to other members and people who want to come in and say hi to us, I also want to know what we can do for you. So anyone watching this, if you know, what can we do to help the creative tinker?
So I'm mostly looking for people that want a website that isn't just box standard, isn't just a standard template or whatever, and that wants to add an extra flair to their website. So a great example would be our BNI Lightning chapter website. So I built our chapter website, And there were a couple of things that I learned along the way, and I added and kind of to enhance the user experience and make it, you know, stand out against all the other chapters, which I thought were pretty bland for the ones I saw. So I added a animated plane, because our chapter is called Lightning. I had an animated plane that went across the page when you scroll down, you know, which just adds some nice interaction. And I also added a little the next meeting is, and so it puts the next meeting date at the top of the page. And if you hover over that, it will show you the weather for the next meeting. So if we would have face-to-face meetings, you'd be able to see, okay, our next meeting is going to be a sunny morning, the sunrise is going to be at 6 a.m, stuff like that, which I just think adds a bit of a personal touch and kind of, you know, invites you more. And so I'm looking for people that want to add stuff like that just makes their website stand out above the rest, basically.
Brilliant, because I bet that, you know, everyone's focusing on their websites right now, and everyone's focusing on their online presence, because that's how we're interacting with the world. So you're looking for people who want to stand out from the crowd.
Yeah,
and brilliant. And I'm going to top and tail this interview as I've done in the past with the contact details for Taylor and the Creative Tinker. So if you, I'd strongly recommend booking a one-to-one, and then you can discuss how to stand out from the crowd. Okay, so these are only meant to be really quick little interviews. So my last question is there anything else that you want to say to the BNI general public and the world?
Yeah, so I don't read often. However, I would highly recommend you should get this book. I don't read often, but this is an awesome book and I'm really enjoying it.
Oh,
so
bless you.
Yeah, I'd recommend go and get that book.
Thank you. Genuinely didn't know he was going to do that. But yes, see, what a wonderful example of the giver that you are there, Taylor. You've tried to help me, and you would have. So thank you for reading it. And
yeah, it's a great book.
Bless you. Okay, and for the first time, I feel a bit speechless. So thank you for your time today. Thank you for all you're doing. Well done for discovering the BNI community at the ripe old age of 19. I mean, I joined when I was 26, 27 years old, and I wish I'd found it a decade before. I really do. So congratulations for doing it. And thank you for all you're doing on behalf of your chapter members, and the region. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.